Well, welcome back. Welcome back to my conversation. My conversation with you, my fellow Kenyans, and a lot has happened actually the last week since we last spoke. First of all, we have to convey our congratulations to Eliud Kipchoge for winning the Berlin Marathon. I was actually Googling to see how much money the athletes who won that marathon were actually paid, for their efforts. And I have it here somewhere. Hold on. I have my computer here. So, summary of the Berlin Marathon prize money 2023. Male and female, by the way, I think they pay them the same. Prize money, $50,000 for number one. That's about 7 million, between 7 and 7.5 million shillings for winning that race. So congratulations, Eliud. Yes, now you can, do some Maendeleo in Eldoret. Okay, number two, the second is half of that amount, which is 25,000 according to the internet. Number three is half of half, which is 12,500. And then fourth is $7,500. All this is in US dollars. So you can transfer that into Kenyan money. So if the first one was 7 million shillings average, then the second is 3.5. The third one is 1.75. And then the fourth one is 7,500 USD. It's about times 150. 7,000 times 1.5. 1.1, something like that. Okay, and then fifth is $5,000. And then from number 6 to number 10 is 3,000 US dollars. 3,000. It's not really a lot, I mean, okay, number one, yeah, it's okay, but between 6 and 10, okay, it's better than nothing, but still, can you imagine you've trained for a whole year, you run 42 kilometers, $3,000. 3,000 times 150 equals 450,000. At least for someone who likes running, that'll cover your expenses, your ticket to Berlin, you're spending money for about a week. You really want to bring back much if you're only concentrating on prize money for number 6 to number 10. But, of course, there's also sponsorships, things like that. That's where the real money is. The money is not really in the prize money for running the race. It's getting affiliated with the sponsorships, like when you have the logo, whether it is Adidas or Nike on your gear, whether it is the shirt, the shorts, the socks, even the shoes. So it's not bad. So why am I bringing this up? Because last week we were talking about my solutions to the problems that we're having in Kenya, and all the problems actually are based economic. Okay, we have cultural issues too, but those we'll bring up later. But everything is tied up. Where the economy goes, it affects the culture, and then the culture creates, all sorts of issues. But anyway, we'll talk on that later. So, sports is a major, economic activity. I want to emphasize economic activity. Economic. People don't just run for nothing. Okay, there's some, who wake up in the morning, they run for their health and all that. But when it comes to competition, they want to see who's better than who's faster than who's stronger than who. There's always a monetary aspect to it. Right now, we have the World Cup rugby going on in France. Some of the big teams that are playing there, like, was it yesterday or the day before, we had the All Blacks, which is the New Zealand team. They played against Italy. And that was one hell of a score, 96 points to 17. Yeah. For those who love rugby, you know what that means. And South Africa is doing well. That's the team that I support because it's the closest geographically to Kenya. So I feel, we have something in common. Yeah. And, we'll see who wins. Now, I noticed that I got some comments from last week, and I thank you all. Thank you, the 100 plus people who viewed my video. That's amazing. I mean, that's only my second video, so yay! Okay. And somebody asked a question, said, what about, when it comes to football, rules of FIFA and, KFF, Kenya Football Federation, or is it KFF or FKF? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Nobody knows. My answer is this. Somehow, and the point that I was trying to make was this. I may not know all the rules, and I will actually research. I'm going to look them up. It's not hard, just haven't had time. But every single sports team, when it comes to the Premier League, La Liga, all these, international sports, they have one thing in common: geographical proximity. Geographical proximity. Right now, World Cup is countries against countries. Now, within those countries, they have cities against cities, or regions against regions. And what I was trying to emphasize was the football teams we have in Kenya right now, other than AFC and Gor, that I know of. I mean, okay, the Shabana also. I think they're based in Kisii somewhere. There was a team used to be called Nakuru Wanderers. I guess they're based in Nakuru. But by and large, the teams are not really geographically based. You cannot pick a team on the roster and say, okay, this team represents which region. And based on that means the most important aspect of creating a strong economic base for your team, your professional sports team, is spectators, fans, people who have an emotional connection with your team, people who will go or they do above and beyond to support you, whether it's just by cheering, showing up, financially, by buying, the equipment, uniform, gear, shoes, similar to that which the players are using, willing to pay a ticket in the stadium to watch the game. They're willing to buy, if it's TV rights or Nowadays, internet, when you try to log in to a live game, they make you pay a little bit of money. They're willing to pay because there's that connection. This is their team, or this is my team. And that team has a sort of cultural, emotional connection to you. And that's what makes the difference. And the people who come within that definition, that's your economic base. They're willing to spend money. And that's what, to me, is something I'm trying to raise. Because we already have a system in Kenya that is nationwide. That is a county system. And my suggestion is to have sports leagues based on counties. Each county, one team. Nairobi, 2 teams because it's big. So divide east and west. That establishes a fan base that is culturally and economically and emotionally connected to that team. That will really boost the economy. Because the whole reason why I'm talking to you right now is because we need ideas. We need ideas, on how to figure out how to boost this economy. Because the economy right now is bad. We all know. You just have to log into any news. You see the fuel is up 211, 210 shillings a liter. Petrol. Petrol alone. You need thousands of shillings just to travel within the country. It's a challenge. So my idea is we have to figure out how to create money within the country. And how to do that is to get people a reason to move within the country. And there's nothing like sports to make people move. And that's where I'm coming from. So, last week, when Kipchoge was running in Berlin, they had big TV screens in Eldoret Town. Every bar, every social establishment had, was showing the race. And there are people actually who went there and sat there for the full 2.5 or 2 hours that he ran, from the beginning to the end, watching. Can you imagine? 2 hours. And it's just one man. And I asked myself a question. What do we need to do for him to be able to run in Kenya and earn 7 to 8 million shillings for winning that race? Right here in Kenya, in our country. Not having to fly halfway around the world to, it's okay. It's good to travel. But the source of these champions is Kenya. Kenya is the only country that has won medals and has had records broken from the races between 800 to marathon. Okay. 800 meters, men and women. Okay, I'm not sure about women, but men. 1,500 meters, men and women, that's what I know. 2,000 meters. 3,000 meters. 3,000 meter steeplechase. 5,000 meters. 10,000 meters. And marathon. At some time in the last 20, 30, 40 years, we've had at least one Kenyan hold world record in one of those races. And we're the only country who has ever done that. Even Ethiopia, I don't think they've ever had an 800-meter world record. Even 1,500. I know they've had 5,000, 10,000. I think women, maybe marathon. But Kenya is the only one in all those races that has had a world record holder at least once. Currently, we're in trouble because we lost even our famous 3,000-meter steeplechase, where we had gold medals from, from the 70s all through up until the last Olympics. We didn't get one, but so over 20, maybe 30 years. There's one race where everybody knew as long as there were Kenyans running in that race in the Olympics or in the World Championships, Kenya were winning that race. Guaranteed. The only country who could hold, that much power in one race. I mean, even the Americans, they couldn't say the same thing about 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. Because 100 meters, Jamaicans were there. Usain Bolt removed the American, monopoly of that race. 400 meters, we had a South African who, won a gold medal and also broke the world record. But Kenyans had a monopoly of the steeplechase. And then we lost it. Why? And I think simply because we're not teaching our children anymore about sports. Our children go to school and all they do is the academics from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. We don't need to teach our children that much. Academics, that long. 4 or 5 hours is enough. And then the other hours, to me personally, although I don't want to tackle the aspect of education right now, I'm still dealing on sports. But for me, we need to spend at least 2 to 3 hours developing talent in other fields where our children can earn money. Sports. Not necessarily just like athletics. Even things like chess. The chess champions worldwide make a living just playing chess. You can Google it. Even darts. Throwing darts. They're championships, they're competitions where you can earn up to $1 million a year. Darts. Snooker, pool. Yeah. So we need to think outside the box and ask ourselves, what's the point of sending a child to school? Because you want him to be independent, you want him to make money, you want him to be knowledgeable, and you want him to be able to survive on his own and prepare himself to create the next generation. That's how it works. And then when you know that sports, Kenyans is a sporting nation. Sporting nation. And you know that sports brings millions and millions and millions of shillings to participants. Yet we never think about developing our talent from, primary school. Say from the age of 9, 10, all through to 18. So by the time, our children turn 18, they have so many available opportunities to succeed. It's good to have a university degree, but how many graduates are there and they can't find jobs? We'll talk about that one more in detail, on I think episode 4 and 5. Because right now, episode 1, 2, and 3, just to still think about sports. Like I said last week, low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. Think about it. Not only does sports bring us international acclaim. But if we have a sporting culture that touches all corners of Kenya, that's another economy altogether. How many of us have traveled from, Nairobi to Mandera, Eldoret to Lodwar, Mombasa to Wajir? There's no reason, But that travel, moving around within the country, creates an economy on its own. Because you're spending money. And you're spending money on something that you like, something that you want, something that, you're not being forced. We concentrate so much on taxes, what to tax everybody, tax. But nobody say, okay, hold on a minute. How do we move the money? How do we create money? How do we develop people so that they can, contribute? Because that movement, 55 million Kenyans. You know how many that is? 55 million. When I read history, and I see how we got independence 1963. 1964 we became a jamhuri. What bothers me the most is this. Here we are fighting for about, 20, 30 years. From Harry Thuku to Jomo Kenyatta, all those people. Fighting for independence. Mzungu arudi kwake. Wabebere watoke nchini yetu. The minute they go, they lower the British flag, they raise a Kenyan flag for the first time. People are happy. Hey, woohoo! Nchini yetu. Within a month, we're running back to England. Hey, lend us some money now. Thanks for independence, but we're broke. Yeah? Okay, it's not up to me. But if it was up to me, you become independent. That's it. You're on your own. Put a fence around the country, figure out how to make money, export, develop yourselves, create things, create products that you can sell, trade. That's how you make money, not borrowing money. Yeah? Jomo went and borrowed money. Oh, we're going to pay these white farmers who had farms all over the place. Those white farmers, there's some in the Uasin Gishu. They had big farms, thousands of acres. And they had figured out, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, they had figured out how to make those farms economically viable. Maize, wheat, animal breeding. They would take whatever, they produced, put it on a train, all the way to Mombasa, export it to the UK, sometimes take it to Embakasi, fly it out from the airport. That was before, JKIA. They had an airport in Embakasi. I think it should be the airport now that the Air Force is using in Isli. But anyway, yeah, that was the airport. They had a railway that used to come all the way, and the only purpose of that railway was to get whatever the country can produce, ship it out. So when you got independence, and Jomo went and borrowed money, and say, oh, here you are, you want to go to UK, you want to stay, make people in Nakuru. It's in the history books. Just Google it. A lot of the money he kept for himself. That's how he became rich. So what was this independence we're looking for? You Uhuru and Agani, we're not independent. We're still dependent. So when our president, William Ruto, he's a good man, but I don't know who's advising him. I was seeing him on TV the other day in the US. I mean, he's traveled a lot. All these countries. We need money. We have 55 million Kenyans, my friend. These 55 million Kenyans have money, or they can create money without having to borrow anything from outside. Sports is a very good starting point. We can create our own balls. We can stitch our own kit, build our own stadiums. Pole doesn't have to be overnight. When people start moving around and money starts spreading and money starts, oscillating within the economy, it will pick up on its own. And our people are bright. When they start traveling across the country, going to different places, people have never been to Maralal, that's a good example. They'll see things and say, maybe I can do something here. They'll see opportunities. They'll figure out stuff. They'll create industries. All those things they say, we need money, we want to create industries. And the people who they're asking to create industries are these investors. We want investors. Who are these people? Are they real? But they're just, brokers, people who just have excess money and they're trying to figure out how to con Kenyans. Anyway, so I was told that I don't want to talk too much and I don't want to repeat myself. Yeah. So this is my third video. Let's see how it goes. But this is a conversation I want us to have. It's a conversation I want us to think about. When you travel abroad, for those who have traveled, and you see how things are done, bring those ideas back to Kenya. Don't go there and trash your country. Kenyans here, we're bad people. And I knew you're a Kenyan. Yeah? And there's no country that loves you like your own country. You go there, you start complaining, they don't want to give me managerial positions, maybe because I don't know what. Chief, boss, it's not your country. Hey, just go there, get knowledge, go back, build your own country. Come back. Don't go there, complain, they don't like you. Of course they don't like you. Even you come to my house and I don't know who you are, of course I won't like you. Huh? Yeah, it's okay. Let them not like you. And when they come, treat them like cordially. But don't worship them. People come to the airport, Europeans are coming, we worship them, they're so blessed, they're bringing us dollars. No, they don't need to do that. We can do that ourselves. Right now, the diaspora brings back more dollars than any tourists that are coming to visit us. Our own people. So even that story of dollars being brought by tourists and all that, we've proven that these things is not necessary. Yeah. Our own people can bring back those dollars. That's what you want. But now we need to take the next step. Create money within Kenya. Create money within Kenya. Using what we have. Using the people that we have. Using the resources that we can generate. using the ideas that we have. And if you don't have ideas, Google. Nowadays, you have internet, or even on your phone, you can Google the ideas. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Charles Meto. I live in Eldred. Right now, I've traveled. I'm in Dallas, Texas, but Eldred is my home. Yeah. I'm originally from Nandi County, Lesos, and Koilat, actually. Yeah, and that's me. So that's the conversation I want us to have. Think about, get a new perspective, look at things in a different way. Thank you. God bless you, and have a good weekend.